Hi, welcome to the podcast by Dr. Sushma Singh. Let us start conversation on Unit 23, Block 8, Open Distance Learning, Emerging Facts, and Unit 23, Education, Social Commitment versus Commodification. Every society expresses its own commitment for the social development of the diverse sections of the population through diverse means. These commitments are to be implemented through various institutionalized means. Education is one of the important means for the community well-being and effective tool for social development. The Indian state has expressed its concern for educational well-being and has framed various strategies towards this endeavor. Various international organizations have also expressed their commitment for educational well-being of society and have directed member states to initiate actors to fulfill these commitments. This unit aims to highlight various commitments made for the educational well-being of the society both by the nation state and international communities. It begins with an overview of the constitutional and legal commitments made for educational development in India. It also looks into the various recommendations made by several important committees and commissions for education. All heads of the states of the United Nations Organization UNO has committed themselves to make education a tool for empowerment of the marginalized in the World Development Summit 1995. They have also committed themselves for education for all. The Dhaka Committee has made it very explicit. The Millennium Development Goal of the UNO has pledged to eradicate illiteracy by 2015. Most of the member states of UNO have also signed general agreements on trade in gates of WTO. This has paved the way for commodification of education by designing education as a tradable service. This unit also discusses the diverse facets of commodification of education and its implication on the social commitments made by the state and international communities for the educational well-being of the society. Let us move to the next point, social commitment for education dimensions. Education plays the central role towards the economic development, technological advancement, effective social and political participation of people by paving the way for human resource development, upward social mobility and collective consciousness of society. Education as an enabling mechanism is a corollary to the processes of empowerment and an important component of power. As an emancipatory force, it has always been recognized as a means to improve personal and collective endowment and capacity, enhance the human capital, and expand the basis of opportunities and choices of individuals and groups. The National Human Development Report of India 2001 recognizes that the education is not only a means to enhance human capital and productivity but also a critical invasive instrument for bringing about social, economic and political inclusion and a durable integration of people, particularly those excluded from the mainstream of society. Hence, according to UNESCO, the right to education is a fundamental human right. It occupies a central place in human rights and is essential and indispensable for the exercise of all other human rights and for development. As an empowerment right, education is the primary vehicle by which economically and socially marginalized adults and children can lift themselves out of poverty and obtain the means to participate fully in their communities. However, due to several social, economic and historical reasons, all sections of population have not got equal access to education. Even among the literate or educated sections, only a few have got access to higher professional and technical avenues of learning. Consequently, these vast sections of the population have remained deprived of the avenues and processes of human development and capacity building for upward social mobility. The state and the society have also remained deprived of the human potentials of these sections of society. Inequality in access to education has been historically rooted and socio-culturally circumscribed. In India, for example, traditionally only the upper caste have had access to education and the lower caste and the indigenous people were deprived of access to education at all levels. Such situations are available in many other parts of the world as well. For example, in North American countries, the blacks and the indigenous people lag behind in their educational achievements. It has long been realized and recognized that the lack of education and unequal access to education has emerged to be a potential cause of socio-economic backwardness, poverty, ill health, and all forms of human deprivation. Since the significance of and the disparities in access to education have widely been recognized, there have been several commitments to enhance access to the education both by the state, international bodies and the civil societies organization. Most of these commitments aim to recognize education as the cornerstone of social and human development, enhance access to education to all sections of population, arrange special provisions for ethnic, religious, and linguistic minorities, provide special attention for children, women, and other vulnerable sections of society, arrange adequate resources for expansion of education, save education as a tool for national integration, use education as a tool for mainstreaming marginalized. Let us now focus on the commitment to education specifically made in India through the constitutional and legal arrangements in our next conversation. Here we wind up this conversation and thank you so much for choosing this podcast.